You know, in a private reading, you have one person that comes, but in so many cases, it is meant for more people in the family. And that's what you will see in this next catch-up.
My name is Emma. I live in Huntington Station, and I had a private reading from Teresa in my home.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Teresa, when she walked in my house, she is a force of nature. And the whole house just filled with this incredibly sweet and natural energy. It was amazing.
Well, let me, who lives down south, or is it something down south?
My ex-husband's family.
Okay, so your ex-husband is departed, and his family is from the south.
Yes.
Perfect.
My ex-husband was a sweet, affectionate, caring man. We met when we were very young, had a whirlwind relationship, and we were married 3 years later. I had a beautiful daughter, and then our relationship kind of took a turn for the worse. Most important thing in my mind was that he did have a relationship with her. No matter how rocky our relationship was after we split up, the most important thing was to keep them together and make sure that she knew who her daddy was. When her father took his own life, there was no indication, no note, no explanation, nothing.
I'm Sarah, and my father came through with a reading of my Teresa. The day that I found out my father passed, I don't really remember much about it, kind of blacked it out, but I do remember waking up that morning and having my mom sit me down and tell me, and that was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with.
Have you ever been to a medium before?
Many years ago. Sarah had no idea that Teresa was coming. I didn't tell her until after the fact because I didn't want her to want to be part of it. I was hoping having Teresa here might give us some sort of answers. My goal was to see if there was any explanation that we could get from him, if he would come through, help us, help his family, help my daughter.
Did your first husband have tattoos?
Yes.
I like look over. I'm like, he's got like no shirt on. I'm like, what are you showing me? He's like, oh, you guys see my tattoos? And
Yeah. I think I was kind of stunned when she started mentioning the tattoos and then he took his shirt off and she was kind of, shy about it, covered her face. But yeah, it was a comical moment actually because that was totally who he was.
Your husband actually takes responsibility not only for his actions, but he also takes responsibility for his passing.
That's amazing for him to admit that.
During Jason's life, he had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of tumultuous stuff, and he never had the ability to really say, this is my fault. I did this wrong and this is why this happened. So for him to say, I take responsibility for my passing, it was a validation to me that he's here. He knows what he did was wrong, how it affected other people, and he's learned that lesson for the future of his soul going forward.
I think that it is absolutely amazing and so powerful when a soul will step forward and say, I take responsibility for my actions. I don't want you to carry the burdens of my actions.
He actually looked at me with tears in his eyes, and he says that he gives her permission to allow her stepfather to be her dad.
There's always that tension, when you split up and you move on with somebody else, there's always that tension between the dad and the stepdad or the mom and the stepmom. But for her to accept him in that way is huge. And now, in her phone, he's dad. Her father is daddy, and dad is my husband.
When I changed my stepdad's name in my phone to Dad, I think I was just like comfortable with it. I mean, I still have my dad's number in my phone, and I'm not ready to get rid of it, even though it's been 3 years, and it still says Daddy in his contact picture. But at the end of the day, my stepdad has been there for me.
Now, 3 years later, she is such an incredible young lady. She's so incredibly talented. She's really grown up immensely, and I'd like to think that what we've been through made her stronger, but it's part of who she is today, but she's an incredible young lady, and I couldn't be prouder of having such a strong kid.
I'm extremely excited about the future. I want to be a musician, and I know that's what my dad would have wanted.
And he actually looked at me and he said, my life meant something. He says, because I didn't see that here in the physical world.
I wish he had seen it.
But he sees it now.
The reading was everything that I needed to help myself to grieve and let go and forgive, and gave me the ability to do that for my child as well, because she needed that. So I think it was exactly what I needed.
If I could see Teresa now, I would definitely thank her with everything in me. She has definitely helped me get through a lot, and I'm so thankful that she could do that for me.